Welcome to our monthly Honor a Veteran ceremony. For the month of May, we have the pleasure of honoring Richard L. Smalls, who served in the U.S. Navy.
Today, we lift up our voices to express our gratitude to Richard and our military for this dedication to God and country. We ask God to show us ways in our communities and churches to thank Richard and his fellow heroes. Keep and protect those heroes now in your care and comfort their families.
Your husband was extraordinary, and he'll be missed, but his memory will never be forgotten. His stories are always going to be shared for generations to come because we have them in our heart, and we have the stories. And like, again, one of the reasons I started Living a Veteran was to really talk about veterans that they can hear the stories, because I'd meet veterans that would come up, and I'm like, how'd you know that person? Well, they helped me. They gave me a hand when no one else would. And I go, wouldn't it be nice to hear that at that point in time? So I say to your children and to your grandchildren and to the friends that are here, you'll never hear exactly all the extraordinary things he's done in his life. But it continues on to his 12 grandchildren who he loved to do stuff with, hang out with, and again, it just shows you the character the person is. But for you to have that foundation of marriage all these years, to be by his side, and I know you've seen the dark sides and you've seen the bad sides, and we always see the picture of great things on the outside, and look at there's demons people live with when you're in the military and you're in war, and our loved ones, our spouses, our significant others are the ones that end up seeing that more than other people. So I know you've been that strength for him through all this, through his journey and through his years, and the cohesiveness that has kept the family together in a lot of avenues. So my heart goes out to you and to your family, but I do want to say, as I stand here as county executive, it's an honor to recognize your husband for the extraordinary things he's done.
So we thank Seaman Richard L. Smalls for his great service to country, his development of a community here that he called home as a son of South Carolina, called this area home, but he invested heavily and did it in the most personalized ways. So in honor and in tribute and in memory of his great legacy, we've asked that a flag be flown over our nation's capital, Kathleen, to say thank you, a most humble thank you that speaks to the humility of our veterans, who oftentimes just say, I did what was expected of me. So we respect him for all of those values. We cherish his memory, and we certainly live by his standards, or at least attempt to do as best as we can. So thank you for his service, and again, to the family, it is just a great opportunity to pay tribute to a great individual.
And it's veterans like Seaman Smalls that led the way, that got us to where we could start to recognize this, and should have decades ago. County executive pointed out before I got up that he served on the first guided missile cruiser, the USS Boston. Another remarkable accomplishment. It's an honor to be with you all today, and it's a privilege to recognize him, and thank you for letting us do so.
Not only did Seaman Smalls serve this country for 4 years, but he came home and continued to serve through his faith, through his community. And that's another thing we cannot say enough, because I think we forget sometimes. It is about serving your country. It is about serving our community. It is about serving others. And so again, I'm always grateful to be here. John McDonald, my colleague in the Assembly, I think he did a personal visit to vaccinate your dad, your husband. He normally is here as well, and would like me to join in the thank you. And again,
that all of us are called to serve in many different ways, and that when you lead by example, you leave a legacy. And I know, our county executive often says, you don't even know the impact that you have had. I probably didn't state it clearly enough in his lifetime, but he has had an impact on me, and I will carry that with me forever.
And so I stand up here on the shoulders of giants, of likes of Richard L. Smalls, who continued his service, even though it was only after 4 years. So no service is too small and no sacrifice is too great when through a lifetime, when you leave a legacy. And so, you look at the legacy of 12 grandchildren and the sons and daughters between Jason, Matthew, Michelle, Michael, and Vincent, and as you go forward and you continue to live that legacy, to make sure, it's a duty and obligation to make sure that honor and that story is always told and remembered, so it can be carried forward.
Good morning, everyone. First, thank you for being here to honor my dad. I didn't really know him at all as a veteran. He was just my father. But what he instilled in me, I know my brother Jason and his other children, many things, but one of them was always do the right thing and always try to put your best foot forward. When you do something, do it 100%. I want to thank Mayor Sheehan, all of the elected officials, Assemblymember Fahey, Senator, the Congressman, Dan McCoy. I'm a lobbyist, and I think I'm an attorney as well, and the reason I'm both of those, my father was a salesman, and when I learned he was a salesman, I realized you can make money by talking. And that really inspired me to be an attorney. And my father always said, if you want to sell something, you don't sell the product, you sell yourself.